And if, I can't remember the last time I did, 2006, 7, maybe, 2009, I think was the last time I used MySpace. Wait, 5, 6 years later? It's being, now, now, I don't know who owns it now. I have not been keeping track, but at last I knew it was Justin Timberlake and a couple of his siblings had bought it, and they were working on it and trying to make it work. I don't know if that's still the case, but if it is, Justin, you got some splaining to do. Just saying. And by the, his real name is not Timberlake. I saw what his government name was once, and it wasn't very well. I don't remember what it was, but it wasn't Timberlake. That was a made up name, I guess. I don't know. Like Timberlake. I don't know why he would choose Timberlake. Maybe he didn't like his own name or something. I don't know. But anyway, on the Facebook side, one of the things that I like to do is, one of the things that I'm hooked on, which I will probably spend a good deal of downtime this weekend just playing and having fun with, is SimCity Build It. And yeah, I'm now my city is built to such a I'm almost at level 30. So I get to have a bunch of different stuff. You graduate, you become a bigger, better mayor with bigger, better cities, as you go up in levels. But right now the city is pretty much laid out the way it's going to be laid out. And right now I'm just having fun because you can actually move whole buildings. It's kind of fun to be able to move a skyscraper around and put it somewhere where you want to put it. Obviously, you cannot do that in real life. At least we can't do that yet. I don't know. Maybe someday in Star Trek time, with a gravity tractor beam, they'll be able to lift an entire building off its foundation and then plant it someplace else. But at this particular juncture, buildings that we can move are much smaller, not the size of skyscrapers. Of 50, 60, 80, 100 stories tall. But anyway, so now I'm just moving things around, trying to make my city look perfect. And I got to admit, it's starting to look really cool. And of course, there's rules and stuff that you have to abide by or follow as long as, for, fire and police coverage and education and parks and recreation and all that kind of stuff. So, they only cover so much ground, if you will. So I'm trying to make things as efficient as possible, but as pretty as possible. I have probably more parks than the average mayor, because you're a mayor of Build It. Because I just like the way I'm just playing with it and having fun, and it's addicting. And you're not really competing with who are you going to compete with? There's millions of people playing this thing. And, you start off small and you keep building. Now, the one thing I always have trouble with isn't the money. Well, you don't get to control your taxes like you do in the old SimCity. But it is what it is, I guess. But you don't get to control the taxes. So the taxes are whatever they are. So you get more tax money by increasing your population. And that's something that real politicians should take note of. If you want to have more tax money, then you probably should think about how to increase the population of your particular area, and 2, increasing business, and 3, helping folks increase their income. Not by demanding that there be a minimum wage of $15 per hour. That's a pain in the butt and a waste of time, and it isn't going to work. In fact, there's something here about that people are going to be. Warren Buffett the third wealthiest man that was listed on Forbes 400 as the third wealthiest man on the planet. Yeah, I think he's behind Bill Gates, and Bill Gates is behind, I forget his name, the guy from Mexico. Evidently, he's surpassed Bill as being the wealthiest. I don't keep track of that kind of stuff because it's really it's irrelevant. Everybody likes to keep score, though. I'm number one. Oh, darn, now I'm number two. But it doesn't look like they're really in a race to try to one-up each other. But in any case, Warren Buffett is out there talking about this raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour is not a good idea. Now, let's face it, Warren of late has not exactly been a bastion of conservative thought. But in any event, the man knows what he's talking about. He's worth billions of dollars. He's made billions more for himself and his investors. He's not a slouch when it comes to economics and economic policy. Even when he goes off the liberal deep end, sometimes you got to think, okay, Warren, you may have a slight point here, but you're a little bit too far to the left. But in any case, so he's saying, even on this leftist type of belief, that $15 an hour is going to kill the low-end job market. People are going to get fired, laid off. Businesses are going to close because they're not going to be able to afford the increase, and they're not going to be able to stay competitive. And, with some states trying to push this notion, you can't shut down, give less than 24 hours notice or something. You got to get, and you're going to, they're going to have to get rid of people now in order to be able to afford to even close if they want to close, because they know they're not going to be able to make it. So this whole notion of the $15 an hour minimum wage is already being poo-pooed by numerous people who know better, who know the market, and who fully understand what is going to happen if it were approved nationally. It is what it is. But the big news, of course, is, and I'll talk about this a little bit more later in the program, is the document dump for Hillary's email server and the Benghazi crap that's there. And why these people are, why the media is so, why are people just so enamored with this woman? I can't, we'll talk about that. Plus, there's a new doctor out there. And, I didn't take it seriously, but I got to admit, I heard it on Rush, and then I saw it come across my news feed. And I'm thinking, what kind of crackpot crap is this? And it turns up that there's this, they're calling him the Wi-Fi doctor. He's a Dr. David Carpenter. And he's with the Institute for Health and the Environment. Right there, that tells you he's a total wacko. But he's a medical doctor. And in order to keep people medicated and to keep government in our lives and to keep government's encroachment in our lives growing, and to be able to tell people how to live their lives, they've come up with a new illness, and it's something that's it's something that we have come to know, understand, get used to, don't feel, don't see, does not affect us in any way, and that's Wi-Fi signals. Wireless signals. So, but I guess this guy actually appeared on Fox and Friends. And see, I don't know this because I don't watch Fox News. So I don't know what kind of kooks that Fox and Friends gets on there on their program from time to time. I don't know. But I guess he was on Fox. Well, according to the newsfeed, he was on Fox and Friends, and I guess Fox and Friends was taking him seriously about this new Wi-Fi disease. And I'm thinking, what is this? And look, now it's not going to happen right away. It's going to sneak up on us. But in about 5 to 10 years, especially if we still have Obamacare, in about 5 to 10 years, you're going to start to see regulation coming out and recommended daily doses or allowances of Wi-Fi absorption. And the government's going to get involved and tell you, how much Wi-Fi signal that you can have. Because look, you're already told how powerful your Wi-Fi signal can be for your router. And that, I know sometimes you can go to YouTube and you can find these, how to build a device to make your Wi-Fi, router more powerful. But I have also since found out that it's illegal to do that. Why would it be illegal to increase the Wi-Fi strength of your own router so you can get the signal all over your property? But evidently that's illegal. You can't tamper with it. And there's a legal limit on how powerful these things can be. So you can't go above that strength, that signal strength. I think so. It's already started. And it's only going to expand and grow. And pretty soon, it's going to be they're going to reduce the power scope and range of these things. It is going to be practically useless to have one. I mean, you're going to have to be right on top of it, basically, in order to use it. But this is just a basic crisis in order to, it's not even a crisis. It's just an attempt to create a crisis and to create a panic about, oh my goodness, this Wi-Fi signals are all around us 24/7. We can't get away. What are we going to do? It's going to kill us. It's going to kill us. That's what they're trying to gin up. So then you start demanding Congress and your state legislatures and your national legislatures to do something about it, to save you. And believe it or not, there will be people out there who believe in this kind of garbage. And they're going to take it seriously. And they're gonna run around thinking, hey, this Wi-Fi, not going to have Wi-Fi in my house. Because there are people that don't have TVs and they don't have other types of electronic devices because they're afraid of certain things that come about with these electronic devices that they've been told. There are people that don't want to live next to high tension power lines because of the electromagnetic field is too strong for the human body to take. For that, there is some evidence that may disrupt certain bodily electro functions. But this is a Wi-Fi signal that we've been. Have you felt bad lately? And I know some people, if you plant it in their head, do you get headaches? I can just see it now. There's a public service announcement. Do you get headaches and you don't know where they're coming from? Do you often feel nauseated from these headaches? It could be Wi-Fi sickness. You should disconnect your Wi-Fi signal in your home immediately. And if you do not see an improvement within 2 years, contact your doctor. I'm telling you, this kind of stuff is coming up. You would think it would be funny, but I think we've gotten to the point now where we can actually see that the stuff that we think is funny at first really becomes not funny. In fact, it really becomes nightmarish because the funny stuff, it's supposed to be comedy, all of a sudden becomes part of lore, becomes part of law, and becomes a part of your everyday life that you have to pay attention to. It's kind of like, you're in the country and, one person in 100 years in the country probably gets run over. They'd say in the country, runned over. They get run over. And so now all of a sudden there's jaywalking laws on country roads. Well, there are no sidewalks on most country roads, but the cops are still going to pick you up for jaywalking. Why? Because somebody, 15 years ago, staggered out onto a country road and got runned over Who knows? Maybe a cow was driving or something. We'll be right back, folks.